Today, I'm taking a look at the iPhone 11 Pro versus the iPhone 7. So the footage that you just saw was shot with the iPhone 11 Pro and its triple camera setup. And the footage I think just looks really, really great. But the question isn't whether the footage from this is better than the footage from this, which I think it definitely is. There's been advances in cameras, sensors, the technology that pairs the two together. Also, you just got newer glass in this, and this has been rattling around in my pocket for the last 2 years. But the question for me is whether it's that much better than the iPhone 7, or more realistically, the iPhone 8. You can't buy the iPhone 7 anymore, at least not new, but you can buy the iPhone 8 new at only $450. This came in, I got the base level iPhone 11 Pro at $1,000, so at twice the price. Is it really worth it? Now, to really kind of figure that out, worth and value are kind of relative terms and things that I think generally are pretty personal. But there's three categories that I'm looking at when I'm looking at phones. It's something that I need to be able to work with. It's something I need to be able to live with my family. And it's something that I need to be able to run with or live with running. And so those are the three main areas that I'm going to be focusing on. Now, as far as work goes, any iOS device or any Android device would really work. So the iPhone 8 would certainly suit me for all the things that I need to do. Now, I definitely needed to upgrade though, because my iPhone 7 was about 2 years old, maybe a little bit older than that. And the battery life, as soon as I would take it off the charger, I could just see the battery like just trickling down. So I was having the battery was spent. I guess I could have put a new battery in there, but I've also cracked it. The screen was cracked and everything's pretty dinged. And I think it was just time to upgrade. And so I could have gone with the iPhone 8, and work-wise, I would have been perfectly fine. Everything that I needed to do would have been able to be handled by work. So then it comes down to living with it for family stuff, for running stuff. Is the upgrade really all that necessary? So the way that I wanted to test it out was I took it along with me. We ran some errands over the weekend. In addition to the footage you just saw, I went over to the Heartbreak Hill Running Company on Friday when the new Chicago Marathon gear just dropped. So I thought that picking up the phone and then going right over there to get some footage from the shop would have been a pretty cool thing to do. So I did that. But I also wanted to get some other kind of like real life footage. So me and my wife and the baby going to run some errands, doing a little bit of vlogging from there as if I were shooting like a vlog for the day. So you get a sense of kind of like the audio pickup from the front facing camera. I wanted to do all that. We're at DSW. See what they have in clearance. So found some things that I like in the clearance section. The Zonte Pursuits, they had them in blue. Not in my size, but got a great deal off of that. I think like 90 bucks for those, that was good. But they've got lots of other models of shoes that I don't normally see. So lots of great stuff to take a look at. Got you on the iPhone 7 now, so you just compare back and forth. The iPhone 7 is a lot older, so the lens may be a little bit scuffed. It's been in pockets for longer too, so there's that to deal with as well. All right, now we are in Michael's, and I thought I'd take you off the gimbal because it's just easier to get footage in a place that's this tight. And also you get a sense for the stability or lack thereof from the front-facing camera. Now we're on the iPhone 7.
Baby.
There's a lot of stuff in here. Now, if you want to see any more footage from the iPhone 7, I did an iPhone 7 only video a little while ago when I reviewed the VTech Vlog Pocket. I'll post a link in the description in case you want to take a look at that. That video is about only a week old, so that'll give you a good idea also if you're looking more for kind of what the iPhone 7/iPhone 8 camera system is going to get in terms of video quality. But I would say that shooting with the iPhone 11 is super handy for family stuff for sure. With the triple camera setup, you get not only the regular kind of focal length, you get telephoto, which is sometimes helpful when you're dealing with the kids and they kind of run off or run ahead of you, but you also get the wide angle lens, which is useful because kids are often just in your face. They have no sense of boundary, or maybe it's just because they're smaller human beings, and so what's close to them is different than what's close for humans, adult-sized humans anyway. And so kids are just always up on you, and so like having the wide angle versus the telephoto is great. I also just enjoy fisheye. I've always liked fisheye. I think it makes things look more dramatic, so having videos, having photos that have that kind of perspective, I really enjoy it. I know some of you don't like it for some reason, and you can switch very quickly between all of the three kind of angle cameras relatively seamlessly. You can hit the buttons at the bottom for 0.51 and 2x, but also you can pinch to zoom and you can go a little bit more fluidly through all the cameras. And the fact that they are like three separately placed cameras, but you could still like pinch to zoom and use all of them without it like messing up the video is pretty amazing. I mean, the video zoom in isn't the smoothest thing you've ever seen. It's not like you have like a knob or a dial where you can more fine-tunely zoom in. So I wouldn't use it for like a fake dolly shot, but it's pretty amazing how fluid everything works together. So some major technological advances going on there. Especially also in the front-facing camera, I think it's pretty amazing too that they now have 120 frames per second shooting rate, or otherwise slow-mo from the front-facing camera, which I think is awesome. I love slow-motion video. I think especially with kids, you need slow-motion video. I took it with me when my daughter and I were riding bikes earlier this week. She's got her training wheels off now, and she's got to the point where we could go on a bike ride together. This was our first bike ride together with her without training wheels on, and I was riding through the park. So I was very happy to be able to capture that in slow motion for both of our reactions, and also just to have this camera around with me. So that was also just a bunch of fun to be able to have that. So I think everyone that's freaking out about how silly or stupid it is to have slow motion from the front-facing camera is very much going to be wrong. Yes, the word that they're choosing to name that is dumb, but so is the word selfie, so is the word vlog. All of those words are dumb words. They're dumb sounding words. You sound like an idiot saying them, but they're part of our vernacular now. It's a very descriptive and efficient way of saying what those things are. So I like Slofies. So the last thing that I'll talk about though, in terms of the front-facing camera is, can I use this camera as like an only camera for run vlogging? So I do a lot of running videos on this channel for those of you who are new. And I spend a lot of time having the camera facing me. Now, normally with an iPhone 7, the camera is just too tight on me for it to be able to capture both like me and the running. Otherwise, you just see a sweaty face if I tried to do that. But if it's a wide enough, like on a GoPro, for example, or on a 360 camera, then I can capture kind of the whole scene, me, versus whatever's going on in the background. And if you could put it in slow motion, the fact that you're running and it's jittery, kind of like that evens out. Slow motion, you know, solves a lot of sins in that regard. And so I thought that this might work, but I ultimately think that it's still not quite wide enough for using this as your one and only one camera to run with, but also because this thing is really, really heavy. You know, I knew it'd be a bigger phone. I knew it'd be a heavier phone, but, and as I was just using this, as I was filming at the Heartbreak Hill Run Company, it seemed fine. I had it on a gimbal, I had it off a gimbal, I was filming with it, I was using it, things were fine. But then as I was playing around with it, running errands yesterday with the family, and then bouncing between this and this, it really comes to like just how much bigger and how much heavier this is compared to this phone. Now, I made a video earlier this summer about running with an iPhone in terms of where do you put it in your shorts, in a pocket, in a bag, that kind of thing. And I felt like this was a big phone to like physically run with, to have it on your person while you're running. I guess if you're gonna handhold it, it'd be fine. If you're gonna handhold it, this is also probably fine. Probably a little bit on the heavy end. But if you wanna put it in a pocket, in a bag, somewhere in your running shorts or in your tights, this I think is a great size for running, but I've also been looking at smaller phones unsuccessfully, but that's something that I'd love to be able to do. This I just don't even want to try running with. The other day I thought about it, but I just decided I would run without music rather than bring this phone along with me because it was just so heavy. I knew it was going to jostle around. I knew that even if I could find a pocket big enough to put it into my running shorts, it would bounce around so heavily that it's just going to be distracting, if not create some wardrobe malfunctions out there on the path. So I didn't even bring it with me. I think that's just how heavy it is. Yes, I'll probably get used to the weight. Yes, after a while, this will just feel like a normal size phone. But for now, it still feels pretty gigantic, and I don't want to run with it at all. I think that if you're a runner, and you're looking at the iPhone 11 or the iPhone 11 Pro, and you want to be able to listen to music, you're either going to have to be very comfortable with hand holding, or you're gonna have to have some sort of music streaming or playing from somewhere else, most likely the watch. And so that's unfortunate. I think that the iPhone 7 was something that you could run with for sure. The iPhone 11 Pro, I don't think so. Those of you who have talked to me before telling me you're running with your iPhone 10s, you guys are brave. I'm not sure how you do it. So I know it's possible to do it. A lot of people are doing it with their iPhone 10s, but for me and the iPhone 11 Pro, I don't even wanna try because it's just that heavy. So is the upgrade worth it for me? I would say yes, it was, even at more than double the price of an iPhone 8. I think that if I had bought the iPhone 8, I would have had a lot of kind of like envy/curiosity, wishing that I had bumped up as long as I was upgrading to another phone anyway. But in terms of work, it definitely handles what I need, has the battery life that I need, but any new phone would have done that. For family stuff, I think that I'm definitely going to appreciate having both the slow motion front-facing camera and the improved triple camera system on the back. And for running, I think I'm going to, it's kind of like a no better, no worse, because these days I'm trying not to run with my phone at all. So it doesn't really change too much what I'm doing there, unless I'm testing a running watch that doesn't have music on it, which does happen from time to time. That's all I have to say about the iPhone 11 Pro versus the iPhone 7. If you have any questions about either of those two phones, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'd love to talk to you guys more about it down there. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the video, and I will see you tomorrow.
Yo, what's going on?